In some ways, the Chinese have achieved total victory. They are able to control the very speech that comes out of the most powerful people in America's mouths. Now that phenomenon has reared its ugly head again in the case of WWE star John Cena. He was recently making media rounds to promote the new Fast and Furious 9. Many questions arise. Why exactly do we need a ninth one? But Hollywood is all about franchises. I guess I get that. When the problem arose that Cena was promoting the new F9 in Taiwan, where he referred to it as a country. Now, as we know, Taiwan is not recognized as sovereign territory by the Chinese Communist Party. It's one of the most sensitive things in their foreign policy. But John Cena is an American. He's going to refer to it as we all do. So, no harm, no foul, right? Oh no, no indeed. Instead, what appeared yesterday is one of the most disgusting displays yet I've seen from Hollywood in their kowtow to China. When Cena, speaking Chinese in an apology, posted to Chinese social media saying he made a mistake in one of his interviews when he referred to Taiwan as an independent country. Take a listen.
你好，中国，这是叫西娜。我必须说，现在，在《速度与激情》中，我做很多采访，很多，所以在一个采访，我有一个错误，所有人问我，如果我可以用中文，速度与激情主人给我很多资讯 information。所以很多采访，很多 information，我有一个错误。
I made a mistake, which quickly spread to other social network platforms beyond Weibo. Now I have to say one thing which is very, very important. I love and respect China and Chinese people. I'm very sorry for my mistakes. Sorry. I'm really sorry. You have to understand that I love and respect China and Chinese people.
Stunning. Look, John Cena is a wrestler. I don't expect him to know anything. And if he legitimately has beliefs around whether Taiwan is a country, then so be it. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's not the case. What happened is that Fast and Furious 9 is banking on making all of its money in China. So much so, Vin Diesel, the star of the show, insisted that Fast and Furious 9 premiere not in America, but in mainland China, because that is where the franchise has been most successful. And so when Cena referred to Taiwan as a country, he ran afoul of the CCP's official policy, and he immediately panicked and released this video. Why? Because China has made it known such transgressions will be punished harshly. I have covered on this show before. Nike and H&M made the most basic statement. They will take steps to ensure Chinese Uyghur slaves are not involved in providing them with cotton. The CCP mounted a full-scale attack on them, removing them from Chinese retail sites, removing them from their mapping software, dealing a massive blow to their businesses. For the most basic fact of standing up and saying, no slave cotton. That's intolerable. At this point, it is basically impossible to say Western brands should not do business with China, and vice versa, given the state of our trillion-dollar entanglement. But perhaps, as Americans, we can declare this policy. No American company or citizen shall compromise their legitimate values and repeat the propaganda of an authoritarian state for the purposes of money. If they do so, then we, the people, acting through our government, have the right to compel them not to do so. We cannot have a situation where the richest and most powerful amongst us even have a choice of acting on behalf of a foreign state and selling out their own country. John Cena's famous phrase is, "You can't see me," but we can see him very clearly, actually, for the Chinese propagandist that he is, and we will not forget this one.
To me, this story says so much more about us than it does even about China. To me, this is a story about us, because what all of these interactions have revealed, and you lay out a number of them that were just so shameful and embarrassing, this one probably being the worst among them, these really reveal the sort of core flaw and rot at the center of neoliberalism and totally unbridled capitalism.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've effectively, as a nation, embraced profit margins as our greatest value and aspiration. So when that's the both culture and legal structure that you create, then this is what you're gonna get. So in this way, it's not even real, like John Cena's embarrassing, and obviously any individual has a choice to walk away. Especially what blows my mind is always people who are already wildly successful and like wealthy. It's like, really, you had to go out and do this? But it's less about John Cena than it is about, we're going to see this pattern repeat itself again and again and again.
Of course.
Because ultimately, these are the values that this country, when we really get down to it, outside of like the, you know, fairy tale version of what America is about, this is what America is really about. And the Chinese government knows that. And they have been incredibly effective at weaponizing. We thought our values could be weaponized to make them less authoritarian and more liberal, et cetera, et cetera. And they're the ones who used our values, our most corrupt values, and weaponize them against us.
Absolutely. Deng Xiaoping is on the record saying, you know, we're going to use the West's money in order to finance and build in an authoritarian socialist state. Like he's basically like, yeah, if these fools want to give us loans
they
and
say
let
it
us
outright
to their markets, they don't care. They know we are so foolish that we'll take the money. When you really think about it, so how much is F9 going to make in China? Maybe 100 million, maybe 150 million, 200 million, something like that, which is nothing whenever we think about it on the Comcast multi-billion-dollar bottom line. That is what we are mortgaging, is the ability of this country to tell John Cena or any American citizen who happens to act in any of these movies, no, you are not going to say anything contrary to what, you know, anything contrary to our policy. And like I said, Cena's an American. If he believes legitimately that Taiwan is not a country, so be it. I accept that. But he doesn't. That's not what's happening here. He doesn't even have a position on it. But he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because he's acting in the most basic way. Same with Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey, I mean, he didn't seem like a passionate Hong Kong defender or anything. He was just like, hey, I think what's happening over there is messed up. That's it. It's not like it's his life's cause. And for that, they tried to make the NBA cost $700 million in streaming rights. You can't have that. It's just one of these situations where our worst impulses of unbridled capitalism have been weaponized against us, and we are losing what made us so great and special in the first place. And yeah, how many great movies are coming out of China?